Today we're gonna talk about trusting God in the hard times.
All right.
So, honestly, I can just speak on experience with this. In your relationship, and not just in your relationship, but in life, period, there's gonna be hard times that come your way, and a lot of times the first thing that we do is stress, worry, and get down or whatever because we don't know how to handle that situation or deal with that, and sometimes it can be challenging, and it just seems like sometimes even when you like you're telling yourself like you trust God, but sometimes it's just like it can get so overwhelming. But you just gotta keep trusting him. That's what I found out just through experience. Just like keep trusting him. Why? Because stressing doesn't solve it at all. Stressing only makes it worse. And worrying yourself for what? What it's like why worry yourself on something that you can't control and that you really can't fix yourself? Mm-hmm. So you might as well enjoy yourself, enjoy life, because a lot of times we'll let stress and worry consume our minds, and we'll forget and be missing out on what's going on around us. Right. So, man, just trust them. Trust them no matter what. Even when sometimes it may not feel in your heart that, like you feel it, just do it. Just trust them, man. Just trust them, because just like through experience, I know with us, like we've been through some things, and not too long, about a few months ago, we went through a little situation where money was tight. And I don't know about y'all, but we've had more than one situation where money became tight or whatever. But in this particular situation, we was getting ready. We was planning to go somewhere for business wise, and it was basically we had bills on top of that, on top of other things, and it just seemed like more money was being dished out than gained. Yeah. Right. So and normally we would stress. Right. Like seriously, normally we would stress, and normally we would worry about it, but we just trusted God. I remember that night, like Chelsea asked me, like, babe, what we gonna do? I was just like, you know what? We're not gonna worry. We're not gonna stress. We're just gonna have faith, and we're just gonna keep trusting Him. And we literally went to sleep after that. Like seriously, true story. And just let it go, because like I said earlier, it's no need to stress and worry for what. It puts you in a bad mood, bad space, bad energy, and it's just like everything that you don't want. So just be positive and allow God to work in the midst of the hard time or whatever. And what's so crazy about that situation, we let that situation go, let God handle it. And a couple days later, Chelsea had got in an accident. It wasn't nothing serious, nothing bad or anything. She was leaving work, and a car had backed out into her. And so the insurance paid for it, and they had a settlement.
An inconvenience check.
Yes, whatever that is. But what's crazy, we was able to take care of everything that we needed to take care of. Right. And that just showed us, like, God's gonna make a way.
Right.
God's gonna make a way long as you trust Him. Mm-hmm. And I feel like long as your needs and everything in your household is taken care of, you're good. And it's just crazy how all that happened. It's just crazy. When that happened, it was crazy.
It was nothing but God, honestly.
It seriously was nothing but God. Seriously. She was just leaving work, and who would have thought that she would have gotten an accident? And the fact that it wasn't nothing major, and thank God that it wasn't, right. And it was just something small. But even with it being something small, it still was a great outcome in the end result. So, I mean, it was just crazy.
It was. And with another one, another scenario, another thing with us as far as with being tight with money or whatever. One point in time, when we moved into our new place, they just didn't make it clear as far as all this is going to be paid up front. And at first, we thought about, at first we stressed. And then, we were like, no, that's not what we do. We don't stress. So, like we said, we gave it up to God. And the crazy thing is, the day we moved into the apartment, that morning that we were supposed to pick up the keys, we actually were able to get all the money to actually move in. So, and that was God, because up until that morning, we had no idea where the money was going to come from, because we weren't prepared for that, having to pay the first month's rent on top of everything else. So it was just crazy, but it wasn't crazy. It was God. So
Right.
it was just, just trusting in Him, like, and knowing He's going to get you through those hard times. And he's just awesome.
He is awesome. Like, and it's like, it's not crazy, like, but it blows my mind how awesome He is. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, like, money issues or just even issues within your relationship or family issues or anything that may come up, any obstacle that may come up, like, God is the answer. Mm-hmm. God is the answer. And I think sometimes our problem is that we get so anxious and wanting things to happen right then and there, and when we want it, and we feel like if it's not happening right then and there, God is not working, or God is not showing His love towards us. But that's not true.
Right.
That's not true. Like you just gotta trust Him. Mm-hmm. Faith is not seeing. Faith is believing, and then it comes into the scene. And so, like seriously, like, I'm telling you, just trust God through every situation in your life. He can do anything. He can do anything. And it's just, and honestly, like, in my past, I used to stress. I would let things just, man, I remember before me and her got together, when I was single, I had to pay, I was in a crazy situation, and I had to pay all the rent by myself for about 4 or 5 months. It was a crazy situation, and I used to get down, like, I used to get pissed. Because when you go from having and then not having, it's just like, it gets so over, like, I'm about to cry just talking about it. But it can get so overwhelming, and sometimes it just feels like you don't know what to do. You just don't know what to do. And I used to find myself in my house just crying in the dark, just talking to God, because that's the only person that I felt had my back. And if you don't have nobody else, I'm telling you, you always have Him.
Right.
Always. And it's just like, through that, He brought people in my life that helped me. And that's another thing, like, don't be afraid to get help. Everybody needs help sometime. What do you think God came down on this earth doing? Helping people. What do you think He put us here to do? Help people. So there's going to be a time in your life where you're going to need help. And we're going to have to put your pride to the side.
Right.
And that's what I had to do. And because I'm the type, I don't like asking people for money. I don't like asking people for stuff. And it's just, He even put people in my life where I didn't even have to ask, where it didn't have to even come out my mouth. He put it in their heart to just give. And I just thank Him so much. And when you have Him in your life, you start seeing where He's working in your life. Mm-hmm. And it was just a beautiful thing. And with that, I became a stronger person. I was able to just get to know Jamie, and just a whole bunch of things came with that. Just a whole bunch of great things came with that. And I'm still here. And that's the thing, like, these videos is just to show you guys that we're all human, and we all can relate, but we all have a different story. Mm-hmm. And our story is just to help, like, your story is to help somebody else get through whatever that they're going through. It's a Me Too attitude. Right. Like, Me Too attitude. Everybody got a different story, but if that person get through it, I can too. Right. And it's just like, it's crazy, man. It's so crazy. But God is He's just so awesome. And man, even through things that goes on between our relationship, just as a relationship, the tough times that we may have, like, we still just trust Him. Right. We still trust Him through it all. And y'all, like, that's all you have to do.
Just lean on him with everything. And I tell everybody that, and I don't just preach on that, but I do that myself. Like when I feel like I'm about to be overwhelmed or stressed or anything like that, like I just go to God. I'm just like, guys, I got to take a second. Like, God, take this off my hands, take this off my heart, and just be there with me. And he's always there. He really is.
Right. And so y'all, man, like, God is the answer to everything. Like, seriously, like, to everything, to every situation, to every problem. He's the answer. I feel like our life is just, it's like an obstacle course. And every time you get through another level in your life, another test. You get through another test, and it's just levels. And you grow each time. And sometimes if you don't let him control the situation and you put it in his hands, and if you try to put it in your own hands, it's like almost, you have to repeat that level. Think like a game. Like a game. Let's say we play in PS4, whatever game system that you play. And when, let's say Call of Duty, and you don't pass that level, you have to repeat that level, or you have to go back to that checkpoint and do it all over again. And that's the same thing in life. If you don't pass that test, if you don't get through that obstacle and let him handle it, you may have to go through it again. So because he's trying to get something through you, something through you. And so for you to be a better person and for him to use you the way that he wants to use you for his plan. And that's the thing, like, man, just trust him, y'all. Just trust him. No matter what, just trust him. Yeah. But yeah.
You mentioned something that I really want to talk on. I know, like, sometimes you hear people like, man, I just heard so-and-so just told me the same exact thing that you're telling me right now. Like, that's God speaking to you. To me, I feel like that's God speaking to you. Because, like, a scenario with my sister, she was telling me that her neighbor told her the same exact thing that I came through and told her. Like, I told her the same exact thing. Like, I just told her, just give it up to God, stop stressing, and he's going to handle it. And she was like, man, and that's crazy. Like, my neighbor just told me the same exact thing. And all I could say was, that's God trying to get the message to you. So.
Right. It's just confirmation.
Right.
It's just confirmation. And, you have to know when he's talking to you. You got to be aware of those things. Mm-hmm. If you're too busy, you're not going to notice it. You're going to miss it. And so sometimes we got to be still to catch what God is trying to tell us and what God is trying to show us. And, man, God would, and like I said, I think I said in a previous video, whatever you pray for and talk to God about, expect those things to be answered. Yes. Expect him to answer those things, because he will. He might not answer it on your time. You may pray for something and it might not come answer until next year. But he hears you and he's going to answer you. But you have to do your part and just keep trusting him. Right. Just keep trusting him.
And another thing, it might not be answered how you want it, but he's answering it, though, the way it needs to be answered.
Right. Right. And but yeah, man, God is just awesome. And I forgot about that too, with that story when she got in an accident. So she had gotten in an accident and she had to go to a chiropractor. Went to the chiropractor, and what's crazy, they offered her a job. They seen that she had on scrubs or whatever, and they asked her a few questions. But long story short, they offered her a job. The job was paying more, and it was closer to our house. It just worked out so perfectly. But it just goes to show that God will work. He's constantly working. He's constantly working. Just follow him. Just follow him. And but yeah, man, God is awesome. And like, I'm telling you, he's so awesome. Like, seriously. But guys, like, thank you guys. Well, first, before that, do you have anything else you want to talk about, babe?
No.
All right, cool. But we thank you guys for just all the love and all the support. If you guys have any comments or anything, or even if you don't want to put it in the comments, just message us or whatever, and that's cool. And like I said, we thank you guys for the support. We love you guys, and God bless. Bye. Peace.
Though the tears may fade away, I'm so glad your love will stay. 'Cause I love you, and you show me Jesus.